Hi guys, Amanda here. So I was asked by a few people to make a makeup tutorial. So I went ahead and took some time and did a full face look. I usually do something like this for every day. This might be a going out look for some of you, and what I've done is watch some first impression videos, and a lot of them were first impression drugstore, which I really liked because I know for myself included that I can't always get like the $60 powders or the $45 concealers or foundations, so I kind of did a mix of a few different things. So I'm gonna go through and explain what I got, what I'm wearing, how much it was. If I don't have a receipt for something specific, I'll kind of give like a price range. And the other thing I did, which was different that I haven't really seen, is I'm gonna be doing a voiceover of it. So I'll be putting on my makeup and then I'll be narrating it in the background. So this is my very first tutorial, so please be kind. Hopefully you get something out of it, and if you don't, I'm sorry. So yeah, I hope you really like it. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that I put on was my NYX Hydra Touch 3-in-1 primer, which at first I wasn't so sure that I liked, but I ended up really liking that. And that primer was $10.49. Now, what I'm putting on for my foundation is the Rimmel 25 Hour with Comfort Serum Lasting Finish Foundation in 100. It's Ivory with a foundation brush, and it's a full coverage. Now, I get pretty red, so full coverage is perfect for me. If you want, use a tinted moisturizer, a CC cream, a BB cream. And I'm making sure I'm making an even application, going down on the neck, and making sure that I'm getting everything covered. And not to mention, this foundation was, let's see, $6.99, which is awesome. I absolutely love this. It could be a little tacky, but I always set everything with powder anyways, so it wasn't too bad. And then I'm using my 2-pack of the Real Technique sponges to really pat that in and make sure that it's definitely damp when you use that. And those, I got the 2-pack for like $10. So the Get Covered Maximum Coverage Concealer, I like that for a few different reasons. I like it because I like to use it as not only a concealer, but I use it as my eyeshadow primer as well, which I think is pretty awesome. And I got this at Sally's, and I want to say I didn't spend any more than like $7 for it. So I'm just taking my sponge and I'm really just patting around my face and blending. I don't really want to smear it and rub it. I just kind of want to blend. And it's nice because it gives it a nice light, bright look under your eye. Now for the Ben Nye Cameo Luxury Powder. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it is awesome. The color that I'm using is 3E1. This is actually a costume makeup made famous by the one and only Kim K. So I'm just packing it on under my eye and really just setting that. They call this baking. So in a little while I'm going to brush that away. But for right now, I'm just packing that powder on. And I want to say I got that powder for $20 on Amazon. So the Pure Cosmetics Contour Collection, I'm using a blush brush with an angle. And I got this palette for about $15 during the holidays at CosmoProf. So you might have to look this up online to see where you can find it retail wise. So I was pointing out I used the first 2 colors mostly, the other one not so much. And what I'm doing is right where that bone, you can almost feel it if you push on the side by right below your temple area. That's where you're gonna follow that contour. And you're gonna use circular motions that go up. You never want to bring it down, and you can always build. Definitely want to make sure you don't have too much product on that brush. and just using those nice soft circular motions. Now if you feel like it's a little too heavy, that's fine, because we're going to go back and kind of buff that out later, so don't worry about that too much. And once you feel like you have the cheeks done, then you can kind of move to the forehead. And because my forehead is a little bit on the smaller side, I don't have to bring down the contour very low. But I do like to bring it down towards the temple area to give it that nice shadow. The other thing I like to really pay attention to when I'm working around the hairline is making sure that I get into those little baby hairs. There's nothing worse to me on my own hairline to have a part and it goes from your contour to your scalp and it goes from dark to light. So I always try to really make sure I get in there. Now I'm, you know, contouring the sides of my nose. I have a pretty narrow nose, but I do like to do that. It gives more of a finished look. And again, we're going to be blending and buffing that out later. But I use the middle contour color, something a little bit on the cooler side. And I also like to do the jawline. Really just adds a lot of definition. And just make sure when you're putting that on that it's nice and even. You don't want any dark spots, and that you're really bringing it down the neck. I think, you know, especially with someone with fair skin, you really have to pay attention to how you bring that down on your neck. But we will be using one of the kabuki brushes and my sponge again to kind of blend and bring that down. So using my sponge and my bentonite powder, I'm going to bake under my cheekbone. So then I can go back later and kind of buff that out. But it's, for me, I really like to set the cheekbone in. Okay, so now I am going to use my bronzer and kind of put that right over the contour. This has a little bit more of a pink to it, and I did learn in some of these videos that to put on that highlight and bronzer before you put your blush on, because it kind of just sets everything and makes everything look really uniform. And one of my favorites is this Luminizer by Pure Cosmetics, again, the same as the Contour collection. Got it from CosmoProf. It's one of my absolute favorites. Using a mini kabuki, I am just going right below the eye there, right at that bone, and going into the temple, and then I'm also going to put it above the brow. One of my absolute faves. I'm also going to focus right on the tip of the nose and on the bridge of the nose, as well as my Cupid's bow, which looks really great with your lipstick later, and a little bit right on the chin. So of course, Wonder Woman, one of the MAC collections. I believe I spent about $30 on this, using my blush brush on the apples of my cheeks and setting it on both sides. Using my soft kabuki brush, I'm now going to start buffing out all of these different contour lines and getting the powder off of my face that I used to bake. And whatever I need extra buffing or extra blending, I'm going to use my sponge. But this brush is one of my absolute favorites. A lot of different lines carry this type of brush. I just make sure that the bristles are extra soft because you don't want anything too hard that could wipe off too much. Now using the sponge, I just want to kind of soften around the nose, and anywhere that I see might just be a little too hard, I don't want anything too sharp. I still want to look feminine and have it look soft. So like you can see on the jaw, I need to you know, blend that just a little bit more. Another NYX product from Ulta. It is a setting spray with a dewy finish. I spent $6.12 on this bad boy. Absolutely love it. So another Sally's Find. This is the ARDELL Dark Brown Brow Pomade, number 75118. Using an angled brush, I'm going in and filling in the brows. One of my favorite things to do. I could get lost in my brows forever. So I've definitely edited this down for you guys. And then using the opposite side, I kind of brush the hairs back, kind of get them all, you know, in line. Then I have my NYX brow kind of setter, I guess you'd say, the mascara for $5.36 at Ulta again. And then I'm going back with my fave, the Get Covered from Femme Couture. Remember, that's a Sally's brand, the maximum coverage. And I'm just going in and I'm really cleaning up the brow, making it nice and sharp. So flash forward, I went ahead and finished the other brow, as well as finished one eye, so you guys can see from start to finish how to get this look. So again, back with the Get Covered, you're gonna go ahead and cover the entire lid using one of the smaller foundation type brushes. And then kind of evenly, I like to use my fingers and cover that whole lid. So for my shadows, I have a whole professional palette of Glow Minerals makeup. And I really like it, but you can find super similar colors, whether it's MAC or NARS or Benefit. I haven't really dabbled a whole lot in the drugstore eyeshadow world, but I'm sure you could find some good, well-saturated colors. So for the lid, all I'm doing is using a nice matte nude, and I'm covering the entire lid just under the brow, and I'm also going under the eye. So to highlight under the brow, I'm using a little bit of two different colors. I'm doing more of a soft cream and a bright white. Sometimes the bright white can be a little too bright for the highlight, so I like to mix the two together. And that just really gives you a little extra oomph for your arch. So for the crease up to right under the brow bone, I'm using a very light sand beigey brown with a long bristled eyeshadow brush. And I'm going right at the crease and kind of building that up to right under the brow bone. I like this for an everyday look, and especially because in the evening you can always build on this later. And you figure with such a strong cat eye, you could really just, you know, go a little lighter on the shadow, but it's up to you. And then I'm going in with a darker shimmer, kind of a coppery brown, and kind of adding an extra shadow right there in the crease, and then slowly building up. And then using more of a flat eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go under the eye with a little bit of a darker brown, and then using that shimmery brown to kind of go on top of that. It's one of my absolute favorites. Be sure to take your time and really get that to blend out nice and soft. So I'm using the jet liner from Femme. I got this at CosmoProf. I spent about $7 for this. Sometimes I'll use the MAC gel pot, sometimes I'll use the pencil, but for this I really wanted to use more of a liquid liner. And I start at the top and bring it in towards the center and build from there. Now going in towards the corner of my eye, I kind of meet them in the middle. And if you're not used to doing a liquid liner, try, practicing without shadow on first. So if you do have to kind of clean it up, you're not, taking off a ton of eyeshadow, because it does take some practice. And you can make it as thick and as wide as you want, or as thin and narrow as you want. So I don't know why, but I've just really lately have been rocking the super thick, long cat eye. So whatever feels comfortable for you, but I would say go for it. So just go ahead and check it over, make sure everything's nice and smooth. Looks good, look how sharp that is. Alright, so now using the mascara, it's the Great Lash by Maybelline. The tried and true, pink with a green lid. I want to say you spend like $5 on that. It's one of my favorites. I always try to put mascara on first before my lashes because I don't want to get mascara on my false lashes. I try to wear my false lashes for as long as possible. So usually for a more natural look, I wouldn't put mascara on my bottom lashes, but let's be real, this is not necessarily a natural look. So I actually got Kardashian Beauty lashes. I saw them at the store and I really, really like them. They were a little over $6, which is more than I typically spend, but they reminded me of a MAC pair that I love, so I went ahead and got them. And I'm using the Duo Dark Glue. If you're not used to putting on lashes, I would say go for the clear first, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting dark all over your eye. So with eyelash glue, a little goes a long way. Less is always more. And then you want to, either blow it or fan it for a good 15-20 seconds before you put it on your eye. I also always use tweezers, and I'm able to go up above my lash and then place them right in the center. I then place the lashes on the outside of the eye and then on the inside. Be sure to take your time, don't freak out. I feel like people really like to rush this part and get frustrated and think that they can't wear lashes when you really can. So just a little bit more adjusting, making sure no hairs are caught or anything, and it's comfortable on the eye. Feels good. Last but not least, the liquid lipstick. Now this dries pretty matte. This is the NYX Lingerie, and I want to say I spent, let's see, I spent $6.99 on this. So I don't necessarily need a liner. Like I said, it dries pretty tacky, but within 5 minutes, that's completely gone. I just do a nice thin coat. And I really like it because it wears really well. It doesn't come off like on your drinks or anything like that. And it's a good like office lip, which I've definitely had to learn to get used to. So yeah, it's like one of my new faves. And that's it. Like I said, I'm going to leave information below the video. And if you guys have questions, please let me know. If you have a look that you want me to try, leave it in the comments. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed making it, and I look forward to your feedback. Thanks, guys.